Good day, welcome to another tutorial from the tutorial series of our operators platform. In this video, we're going to discuss our newest additions and improvements that we've done on our newest version, which is version 3.7.1, which is going to be released on January 8th, 2026, today. I'm going to walk you through all these different additions and improvements throughout our web and mobile platform to kind of give you an idea on how you can utilize these improvements and features best for your operations. The very first thing that I want to talk about is additions to our importing feature. In this module, we've added two new importing sections, the very first of which is the warehouse alert thresholds. We've added this feature a while back to enable you so that our system can provide warehouse alerts whenever the availability of certain products have gone below the certain threshold appointed by you. And due to the fact that there could be many products in the system and many warehouses, the data entry process could be a little cumbersome, and therefore we thought it best if we provided you with an importing module for this specific feature so that you do your data entry with ease. It's always best for our importing process to download a sample file and then fill up that sample file specifically to start off your importing process, only because the columns will be set out for you in our sample file and gives you an easy way to follow along and kind of format your data before even getting started with this feature. I have a file ready, but I'm just going to download a sample file to just kind of give you an idea of how our sample files look. In the sample file, obviously we know that we need to provide the warehouse codes, the part numbers, and the threshold value of reorder point and the minimum order. And using this information, we can kind of provide you with the specific warehouse threshold alerts. Now, I have already prepared a CSV or an Excel file specific for this, so I'm just going to import it. Now, after importing the file, we get to the mapping section where you can choose which columns of your Excel sheet maps to which area of the data that we require to read from. For example, since the naming is the same, because I use the sample file, it's the easiest. But if you even create your Excel sheets yourself, or if you change the title later on, you can obviously choose any of the columns you want to map to the areas that we want you to. And after proceeding with the next step, I'm just gonna get a review that, hey, only one of the rows are valid and the rest of them is invalid. We're gonna get to that later on, but it just kind of gives me an overview of how the importing process is going to happen. And as soon as I click on finalize, the importing will be done for us. And here we can see that, hey, for one of our records, using our demo warehouse and demo product, we have set the warehouse availability threshold for alerting purposes. And I can also download all of the processed records, the successful ones, and also the skipped or invalid ones. And as soon as I click on this, it kind of gives me a record of, hey, these were all the data that you've entered or you've given us, and we were unable to process it because they had invalid data. And as you can see, some of them do not have warehouse records, part numbers, the order point, and minimum order points. And some of them might have data that is invalid or it doesn't exist in the system. Anyways, this is the first additional section to our importing module. The very second one is enabling you to provide and import product technical information for each of the different industries available to your organization. In this demo environment, we have 3 of our industries. I'm just going to select the first one, and the purpose behind it, again, is very similar to the last one, and it kind of avoids or like makes it easier for you to do data entry for most of your products, technical information, because, well, there could be many products in your organization, and at the same time you may have up to hundreds of different technical properties associated with these products, so the data entry might take a very long time. Therefore, it would be always easier to use this importing module to do the job. Yet again, I'm going to download the sample file for demonstration purposes and kind of give you an idea of how our sample file works for this specific module. Yet again, we have the columns that we can fill out, the part number, and all the different properties that has already been filled out for us for that specific industry. And also we have the first row of data somehow as a template of the different formatted values that we expect for each of these columns to kind of give you an idea of how you should be filling these columns out for these rows. Yet again, I do have a file prepared that only has one single valid data, and we're going to use that for the demonstration purposes. But obviously, you can use your own columns, your own Excel sheets, and later on you can map them yourself. I'm just going to drop that down, and as soon as I do that, we get to the column mapping section where you can map anything, any of the given columns from your Excel sheet to the data points that we do expect. And as soon as you're done, you can proceed to the next step. Yet again, we're here that says, hey, we only have one usable or valid record and out of the 10 that was imported, and these are the mapped columns we have. And as soon as we click on finalize, we see that the product properties or the technical properties of the product has been imported for our demo product, which is BizPrint. And you can obviously download the successful records, processed, and also skipped or invalid records. And in here, if we do look at our BizPrint product through its technical information, we can see that all the information required for this product is now set. Moving on, we have a very exciting update or improvement to our statistics module. Whenever we are in a customer profile, it used to be that our statistics section would only show the year-to-date days range for the specific statistics of the customer. Now we've provided you with the ability to change that however you would like. So we've provided you with a date range that is very similar to what we have back in our analytics module, that provides you with an ability to kind of set what date range you want to choose, and it is fully dynamic. So if you set it at right now, you can then come back to it and see that, hey, from now on, all my customer profiles statistics will not be set to this specific date range, right? Apart from that, it's the same thing with products of the system. I'm just going to showcase that to you, but it's essentially very similar to what we had. Yet again, I'm going to product management section, and through our statistics, now you can also see the date range filter up here that enables you to change the date range of your statistics for however you would like for analytical purposes. Now moving on to our phone application. In this feature, we've done a series of updates and improvements. The very first thing that I'm going to start with is our customer profile module. In this module, I am going to select our demo customer. And in here, same as in the web platform, we've added the basic statistical cards that would enable you to view the customers' today sales, week to date, month to date, and year to date. This was a highly sought after request, in order for salespeople and operators to kind of get an overview of the customer's sales profile when using the mobile application. Another addition that we've done to the mobile application is that now whenever you want to search for, and also, hold on, let me do this first. I'm going to search for our demo product. Sorry. Oh, hold on a second. Right, there we go. We have to click here. Now, whenever we want to add products to our codes, we can also select the warehouse from which the product is to be selected from. Yet again, I'm going to use our Tech customer, which is our demo customer, and in here, apart from quantity and the pricing of that customer, we can also see the warehouses available to us. Now in this environment, we only have the Vancouver warehouse available to us, but your organization might have different few warehouses to select from, and that's how you can do it. And as soon as you add your product to the cart, you can just quickly do that and it'll show up. Additionally, if you want to change the warehouse, we've provided you with the edit icon that you can change the warehouse to whichever warehouse you would like. In the same manner, whenever you want to add a new item from the quotes details page, you can click on this icon and you can change the warehouse icon right beside the product search box. And you can add the product to your cart. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you have a very pleasant day.